Hello again folks, this is the Meccano Maker System Empire State Building set, and also Arc de Triomphe as well as an alternative model. This box actually is 2015 and is still current and is available several places. I have built the Empire State and the Arc de Triomphe actually. The Empire State has been displayed at a slightly weird show, not a Meccano only show, very much a collectors of anything show last April, and I do like this set. It's a very good value set even at the RRP of $89.99, but I've bought two recently just for parts because there's a lot of, well, there's several parts in this set, many of those several parts that haven't been included in this amount for many a year, and that is the flexible plates. There is an earlier version of this set using girder plates, which are these things. That's a nickel one, so without doing the maths, that's like 100-year-old, that is, roughly. Using lots of those, and again, that's a good set, probably more so, because of these. They're quite weighty, quite useful. This one utilises the flexible plates, which, from the point of view of parts, is very good. Now you can see the actual build of this, or post-build video of this model anyway, further down in the playlist about a year ago, and I'll comment more on the parts themselves there, but you get a lot of parts, and we'll look at that in a bit, see how many parts we do get. So 12 plus years is for 958 parts, available, at least it was a couple of days ago, I haven't checked today, from the Toys R Us eBay shop for $59.99 with free postage. I ordered two, so that's like nearly 2,000 parts for less than 120 quid. Should have come around about the 16th. They was here in, I think about 2 days. Say, post and packing free. Packing wasn't brilliant, they was just in a plastic bag. This is the slightly better of the two boxes, I suppose. Well, you know, as long as they absolutely crushed, you won't be able to see a slight bulge there. As long as they absolutely crushed, I'm not bothered, because these will go in the bin anyway. Rather nice image there of the Arc de Triomphe, and I can't remember for the life of me if I have done a video on the Arc de Triomphe. I know it's still around somewhere, getting dusty. A bit of an idea, because some of these, they're accumulating a bit, these structures and buildings. So maybe put a bit of a odd cityscape together, something like that. That was a bit awkward in places, but because it's a box section really, so it got a bit awkward as it got on. But it is, they both are decent models. Maybe not so structurally sound, I'm guessing, this version of the Empire State compared to the earlier version, and the base suffers a little bit because of all the weight on it. It's a bit soft. I added some little supports underneath, and I think I used set parts, I can't remember now. Some more bolts and some spacers just to help. Looking at the box image on the older set, the base looks pretty similar, at least at the top. I don't know about anywhere else, and I'm not sure if you get any likes of that set. I don't think you do, to be honest. So enough waffle on the box, let's have a look inside. So the box is a little bit big for the parts, but there are a lot of parts and it is weighty, so let's have a look. Let's hope this one doesn't have a little fit and fall over. So same lights, or battery box I should say, as the Eiffel Tower set. I'm not sure if the top one on the Eiffel Tower set, the LED actually flashes. This one does, of course. I've built the set, so I know. Again, small packet of spacers, grommets and clips for the wiring. Tools, there's a lot more I should say, in the way of standard width strips in this set. So a bit of plastic there, plastic thick chunky strip. If you want 5.5-inch strips, it's a great set, and even 7.5 inches, a few of those as well. Look at that lot there. Oh, some other bits in there as well. Lovely, lovely. I must admit it's nice having, it's pretty common now, because like it or not what Spin Master have done, they have brought quite a variety of sets out. That's an understatement and a half. over the last 2 to 3 years, I suppose. You may not like all the sets, and you may not like everything they do in the way they do, and you can watch these videos to see my point of view on most things. None of them are really major, I don't think. They're just niggly, and for a little bit more effort it could be better. But the zinc looks great. We've got some narrow strips in there, some shorter standard strips from Triomphe, double bench strips, quite a few nuts and bolts. Dark grey flexible plates, creamy coloured flange plates, 5L by 7, it's 2.5 inch by 3.5 inch, with some cream 2.5 inch square flexible plates, and they're metal, not plastic. 7L by 5L flexible plates in cream, 2.5 inch by 3.5 inch. Yeah, I thought I got that wrong then. Plenty of, what are they, 1/2 inch by 1 inch narrow angle brackets, and some of you may wonder where I'll get all mine from. Well, it's mostly the modern sets, the little spares left over, because I've got a shed load now. The paint is a bit thick on the parts, and when I built the Eiffel Tower set, one did split off because I don't know if I actually used as many washes as I would like to. In the Empire State build itself, I used a lot of extra washes just to protect the plates. But it's a good covering, but it's a bit gloopy in places, that's all. But you see, there's a wodge of those. We'll come on to the numbers of bits in a bit. And if you want some angle brackets of the standard variety, how many do you want? Pity they're not fish plates. And of course the instruction book. I don't recall the instruction book for this one, but as you can see it's a different format. We'll have a look at it in a minute. So look at some of the bags then. So how many bags we've got? So we've got one there, that's some flexible plates there, the flange plates 2, some more flexible plates, nuts and bolts 3, angle brackets 4, narrow strips, standard strips, some small 1.5 inch flange plates, some double bench strips, that's 5, mostly standard strips up to 7.5 inch, 6, more shorter standard strips, tools and other smalls, 7, narrow angle brackets 1 inch by 1/2 inch, 8, flexible plates 9, plastic clips and small grommets 10, lights and battery box 11 bags, all very well bagged indeed. Great to see the instruction book in a sleeve, and this one is nicely formatted for the box as well. Very nicely done. Stitching all the way along, that's excellent. I didn't mention this in the last video, the Eiffel Tower, that was as good as well. Again, tips on how to do it, not much. Model included in the instructions, down low model, the Arc de Triomphe. How to put the batteries in the battery box, and again it's a screwdriver, not a Meccano or screwdriver head, posi drive, or Phillips, not an Allen head, so separate tool required. I think if I recall the instructions were pretty good overall. They look pretty clear there, you can see early stages there, and you build this one from the top as well. So it's been over a year. Perhaps a little bit dark some of the parts, but clear enough to see. So the parts, a bit odd, the parts in the inset list are a lot lighter and more realistic than the actual ones in the image, which I've said before may cause confusion to those who I think will start looking through all the parts to find those parts, but yeah, all pretty well laid out nicely. So not to keep you all night again, let's go straight to the parts list. I haven't worked out the price of the nuts and bolts if you bought them from a dealer. It's actually very similar to the last one, slightly less, but right then, 1.5 inch by 5.5 inch grey flexible plate, 18. 2 3.5 inch by 2.5 inch flange plates, 12 flexible plates are the same. Not, are they the same size? They look longer, don't they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, 3.5 inch by 2.5 inch. 2, it says there. I thought I saw more than that, but 2.5 inch square flexible plates. 8 1.5 inch by 2.5 inch flexible plates. What else we got in large numbers? You got 10 of the little clips for the wiring. 4 7.5 inch strips. 36 5.5 inch strips. And then the numbers drop quite down. But you got 40 of the narrow 1 inch by half inch angle brackets. And 88 angle brackets. Standard angle brackets. Marvellous. Fixings then, 337 standard bolts, 339 nuts. Now without working that out, comparing it to the last one, that's probably about 45 quid's worth of standard bolts and nuts. Get a few more washers in this, so you get 2. I'm being used to some of the very latest models when you got quite a few washers in, so that looks a bit mean. But for 60 quid, I mean that's only really covering your nuts and bolts. Standard bolts and nuts and a few other parts. It's a bargain. I mean, it makes you wonder, even 80 quid, how did they make any money? Still, I ain't complaining. So, that's that one then, folks. The Meccano Maker System, 2015, this one, and current. Empire State Building, alternative model Arc Triomphe. Yours available now. I haven't seen it any cheaper. $59.99 at the Toys R Us eBay shop, and even at the proper price of 90 quid, it's still a bargain. It's probably really, I suppose it depends what you're after. For a more traditional, oh hello, what's that? Oh, it's alright. Always something falls on the floor, doesn't there? If you want more traditional looking parts than the narrow stuff, then this is the one to go for, especially for 60 quid, post free as well.